Irresponsible journalism. I interviewed Jim Jinkins, the creator of Doug, on my podcast All Grown Up Psych earlier this year, and he revealed to me that he was working on a potential Doug revival series. He was very clear that this was not greenlit by Disney yet, and he was still trying to get Disney to approve it. But now, all these various media outlets and blogs have decided to twist that information and run with it for clicks as usual. I thought Screen Rant was a pretty respectable source of entertainment news, but here they wrote, has received approval from Disney. If the author of this article, Abdullah, had bothered to listen to the podcast, then he would have known that Jim never mentioned approval from Disney. Disney dining with a straight up false headline. If Michael Arnold had listened to the podcast, he would have heard no mention whatsoever about Disney Plus. Inside the Magic with the same false headline. James Brizuela, next time listen to the podcast before you publish fake news. Consequence says, Jenkins said he developed the sequel series at the encouragement of Disney Plus. Fake. Scoop, the author of this article, should have known that Jim said that the concept was encouraged by an executive at Disney. There was no mention of Disney Plus. That executive could have been at Disney TV Animation, could have been any executive at any time at any of the many departments of Disney. Jim never specified. And then Nathaniel Fakes at Clutch Points took the same misinformation from Consequence and published it. Joe Blow can't even spell his name right. In addition to not reporting the information correctly, not one of you had the integrity to credit the source properly. Most of you said in a YouTube interview with Ten Buick. That's not really correct. This was an episode of my podcast, All Grown Up Psych, and YouTube is one of the many platforms you can stream it on. On comicbook.com, Megan Peters says, on an episode of Banging on a Trash Can. Banging on a Trash Can with Jim Jinkins was the name of this specific episode. The podcast is called All Grown Up Psych. You guys are playing yourselves. Jim Jinkins never said it was a go. I never said it was a go. Your irresponsible journalism is one of the many reasons that people are afraid to do interviews these days, because they're afraid that anything they say might be misconstrued, their words might be twisted, and it'll be falsely reported. If you're going to take information from my podcast, at least report it correctly. And here is a clip from that podcast that every single one of these authors should have listened to.
This was actually encouraged by an executive at Disney, but Doug Kidd was this. No, it's not going to happen because I'm still trying to figure out who's going to say yes to this. This is what those characters look like now.
I'm all grown up.